Tashdile, this is Sakina Bhatt and welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines. Preserving the knowledge conveyed by culture is significant, says His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Ladakh welcomes Sikyong Penpa Tsering. Central Tibetan Administration discusses transfer of remaining CTSA schools with Education Ministry. Representative Dr. Arya submits report on Tibet to Japanese parliamentary groups. Tibet Policy Institute marks 49th day of Raja Virbhadra Singh's demise, discusses Tibet and Kinnor relations. His Holiness the Dalai Lama suggested that taking an interest in preserving one's culture is a practical step. However, it's not so much a question of maintaining customs for their own sake, but of preserving the knowledge the cultural tradition conveys. In the case of Tibetan culture, His Holiness said it is useful and beneficial to cultivate peace of mind and contribute to peace in the world.
Since, you see, we not only practice compassion, warm-heartedness, but also use our brain extensively, logical approach. So now today, I feel with Tibetan tradition have great potential to make contributions regarding peaceful world. So our way, not just a faith, intellectually, thinking much. So through that way, we develop compassion, inner peace.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama met with 50 Tibet supporters and Tibetans from Germany, Switzerland and Austria at an online interaction on the theme Tibetan culture and its potential to contribute to peace on Wednesday this week. Sikyong Penpa Tsering of the Central Tibetan Administration arrived in Leh, Ladakh on Friday last week for his first official visit to Tibetan settlements. Leaders of Sonamling Tibetan settlement and local Ladakhi dignitaries welcomed Sikyong with grand receptions. Members of Ladakh Gompa Association, Ladakh Buddhist Association and representative of Muslim community and Christian community welcomed Sikyong at an official reception at the Leh Jokhang. Sikyong met with current and former members of Indian Parliament, the Chief Executive Councillor and the District Councillor. Addressing the students of Tibetan Children's Village School, Ladakh, Sikyong spoke about the importance of studying Tibetan history, particularly China's policies in Tibet. Sikyong also spoke middle way approach and the emphasis laid on education by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Sikyong also met with the nomadic families at Duchik Nomadic Settlement and assessed the situation on ground after the recent livestock pandemic that killed 1,250 goats and sheep. During his visit to the She Monastery and Tikse Monastery, Sikyong received blessings from Tikse Rinpoche. Sikyong also met with the elderly Tibetans at TCV Old Age Home and later met with the local and Tibetan leaders of Leh. At the National Research Institute of Sowa Rigpa in Leh, Sikyong spoke about the rich medical traditions of Sowa Rigpa and the importance of preserving and sustaining this ancient knowledge through the harmonization of diverse efforts. Sikyong then moved to visit the Tibetan nomadic places of Jangthang region, where he will meet and interact with the members of the community for the next 4 days. Central Tibetan Administration's Department of Education discussed the transfer of 6 remaining senior secondary schools from CTSA to STSS in a meeting convened in Delhi on Thursday last week by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. The meeting discussed the procedures for the transfer of 6 schools: Central School for Tibetans Mussoorie, CST Shimla, CST Dalhousie, CST Kalimpong, CST Darjeeling and CST Herbertpur. With the approval of the Union Cabinet, Government of India to transfer schools run by the Central Tibetan Schools Administration to the Department of Education, Central Tibetan Administration in 2013, the management of 55 schools, including 33 pre-primary schools, have been transferred from CTSA to STSS in 3 phases so far. Representative Dr. Sikyong Arya of Office of Tibet, Japan, submitted a 9-page report on current situation in Tibet at a hearing organized by the Japanese parliamentary groups at the Japanese Parliament building of the House of Councillors on Thursday this week. Japanese parliamentary groups supporting Tibet, Uyghurs, South Mongolia, Hong Kong and Chinese democracy have organized a hearing at Parliament building that day. Representative of the oppressed nations spoke on the ongoing atrocities and injustice by the Chinese Communist regime. Around 40 parliamentarians and their staff from various political parties attended the hearing and showed keen interest in human rights situation in the regions.
Many Japanese parliamentarians, they voiced their concern about human rights violation that is taking place in Uyghur and Tibet and in other regions, and especially in Hong Kong also. And among the prominent among them was Mr. Parliamentarian Furuya Keiji, who used to look after the Uyghur issue, and Mr. Shimomura Hagubun, who is chairman of Tibetan Parliamentary Group for Tibet. And then there was Madam Takachi Sanai. She spoke about the support for the South Mongolian people. And then Mr. Nakatani Gens and Mr. Mazubara Jins, they all spoke about all the gross human rights violations that are taking place in Hong Kong, South Mongolia, Tibet, and Uyghurs. And then we have this Mr. Nagao Takahashi, who is General Secretary of Tibetan Parliament Group for Tibet, has been the moderator, and he also voiced his support for all the nationals who have given a presentation on the human rights violations taking place there. And many parliamentarians, and especially lady like Ishii Mitsuko, they all expressed that human rights violations taking place anywhere is not an internal affair of that particular country. It has to be seen universally, and Japan has a great responsibility to voice against these violations taking place in Tibet, Uyghur, and other regions.
Dr. Arya thanked the organizers for the opportunity to participate in the hearing and submitted a 9-page report and briefed on the critical situation in Tibet due to rapid militarization of the Tibetan plateau and shutting down of the Tibetan monasteries and schools. His 9-page report, titled "Tibet is an Occupied Country," also contains pictures and news on the recent atrocities and repressions being perpetrated by China in Tibet. The hearing session was followed by media briefing where Dr. Arya and the representative of the other nationals informed the media about the real situation in Tibet. Mr. Tenzin Kunga of Tibetan Community Japan and Mr. Tsering Dorji of Students for Free Tibet were also with Representative Arya. To mark the 49th day of Raja Virbhadra Singh's demise, the Tibet Policy Institute of the Central Tibetan Administration held a prayer service and a day-long conference on Tibet and Kinnor's historic relations. Raja Virbhadra Singh was a former Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh and the hereditary king of the erstwhile princely state of Bushar, today's Kinnaur region, which is contiguous to Tibet before it was occupied by China. Raja Virbhadra Singh passed away on 8th July 2021. The day-long session included talks by Sri Bhagat Singh Kinnaur, Kyabje Lochen Rinpoche, Sri Sherab Chopel, Professor Sempa Dorji, Acharya Roshan Lal Negi, Dr. Vidya Sagar Negi, Dr. Wangchuk Dorji Negi, Geshe Thupten Gelsen, Professor Ramesh Chandra Mathas, and Ken Rinpoche, Dr. Ramesh Chandra. Topics discussed include relation between Tibet and Kinnaur, the treaty signed between Bushar and Tibet in the 17th century, account of Gelug monasteries in Kinnaur, Drukpa Kargyu monasteries in Kinnaur, trade relations, traditional practice of Kinnauris going to Tibet for religious studies, the Kinnauri Almanac, the significance of Lake Rivalsar, etc. So much for this week. See you next time and have a good weekend.